All right, well, good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning, September 15th, 2021, 7:59 a.m. Central. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time. Apologize, I'm a little under the weather. I'm on day 3 of COVID, but I was at the hospital yesterday, back at it today, and excited to visit with you today. So if I sound a little nasally, forgive me for that. So today we're going to really bridge 2 topics, and I'm going to roll them out one at a time. The first topic I want to address is, let's say that you were approached by a pessimist, a naysayer, someone that said, well, what do you really do to even help small businesses? Well, as we look at the white label page, which is shared here, you can get past the videos that we've gone through and get past how you submit new white label clients. But specifically, we're going to help them become more financially literate. We're going to help them build their loan package, and we're going to help them access funding. So those are the big 3 things: improve literacy, build loan package, access funding. My concern is that I'm worried that some of you may not have taken the time to really understand the financial literacy aspect that we provide. If you're a white label partner, the truth is you can help improve literacy or not. It's designed to do so. And so you'll see that there's 4 modules, and each one of those modules has a white label YouTube link. We're going to take a moment and go ahead and watch just a bit of the module 3, just a minute or 2, and you can watch the rest of it on your own, just to make sure that you're exposed to it. So stand by for a second, please. Okay, I had to get the sound turned on, so let me flip over. So what we're going to watch here is just a snippet of the week 3 module. As a white label partner, it would be great if you are familiar with all 4, but let's just start with module 3 and just watch just a bit of it, and we'll come back and discuss it. Here we go.
Module 3 is titled Financial Management. At this point, you should have completed module 1, which was about business planning, and you most likely worked with your mentor, start working on your business plan, learning what you did from the first module. The second module was on credit. We learned about personal credit, business credit, and how they are different, how they're similar, and how they impact your ability to get funding, which is not in all circumstances. And now we're into my favorite module, Financial Management, module 3. We're going to go through some really valuable information. You may find it intriguing. You may not be that excited about it, but it's important information if you want to be successful in raising capital for your business and in general for operating a profitable business. So let's go ahead and get started with financial management for a small business. All right, so our agenda is full of important topics. We're going to talk about benefits of financial management, budget.
So I'm going to pause it here because, again, this is available on demand, but I'm going to skip forward to financial statements because I feel that we're having a breakdown in some cases where we have early stage businesses coming to us. And if we look over here on module 4, we talk about we need the client, well, we need to use a white label partner to help the clients upload their balance sheet and income statement. And so very often we're getting this pushback. Well, the client's a new start business or they're pre-revenue. This doesn't apply. Well, it definitely does apply, because you got to understand that small business owner is smart. They know what's going on with their business. They know what their income and expenses are, probably. They know what their assets and liabilities are of the business, probably. But the banker doesn't know squat about that business's specifics. We need to produce balance sheet and income statements even for early stage businesses. So it's not that difficult. It's not a barrier. It's probably a learning opportunity. So we talk about financial management software in lesson 3. You'll hear me talk about QuickBooks a lot because I used to teach QuickBooks, but we don't have any financial interest in QuickBooks. And QuickBooks has competitors, but every small business owner needs to be using QuickBooks or a similar software, or working with an accountant or a bookkeeper. And we even talked about bookkeepers back here. We talk about bookkeeping steps, and then we get into learning about financial statements. Again, my concern is that some of you that are working with clients maybe haven't been as diligent as you could be or should be to make sure that you're familiar with these educational messages, which is one of the 3 things that we provide clients. What are the 3 things we provide clients? Number 1, we help them improve their financial literacy using award-winning curriculum developed by the FDIC, promoted by the SBA. We have it in white label format here for you. And then what's the second thing we do? We help them build their loan package. Well, this knowledge is going to help it make sense. So when you're helping them gather all the documents that we need, that you're going to put into the Dropbox folder that we provide, so they understand why it's relevant. And the third thing that we do for clients is help them raise capital. We had a really good training yesterday. If you notice, I couldn't even remember the year because I was suffering from COVID yesterday morning, worse than today. So I stumbled a little bit in the beginning. But we had a really good training yesterday that I posted here on fundability. And so you need to understand that if you're skirting the client and not helping them improve their financial literacy, you're shortchanging them on one of the 3 benefits that we provide them under the Access to Capital program. And secondly, their head's probably spinning because they don't really understand why all this is important. And it's not all or nothing. But the second point I wanted to make from today's session is the balance sheet and income statement shouldn't be skipped. And we can't be using the excuse, oh, it's a new start business, I don't have that yet. Well, it may be true that they don't have any revenue, and it's less likely to be true, but it's possible that they don't have any expenses. But again, lender doesn't know it. Lender's not going to just pretend to know when there's not the financial document submitted. So you might say, well, why in the world would we want to produce an income statement, which is what I'm talking about now? And again, if you're not real familiar with income statements, this is balance sheet, and we'll get over to income statement somewhere here. Let's see. Yeah, we talk about all 3 of them in the training. You might say, well, if the business is so early on and there's no revenue, no expenses, why bother? But again, you're smart, client smart, banker knows nothing about the client. And so what the banker is expecting to see, if we're trying to get a business loan, now if we would just want to go get a personal loan, you can forget all this, right? But clients typically come to you and I because they want to get business funding. Well, if we want to get business funding, then we need to build a loan package. That's one of the 3 things that you and I are doing for them, right? We're building financial literacy, we're putting together the loan package, and thirdly, we're helping them access capital. So the income statement and balance sheet, I'd like you to not continue to dismiss as being irrelevant for early stage businesses. While there might not be much data on it, the absence or presence of the data is not the concern as much as it is our ability to show the banker that we're competent, that we're organized, that we're ready for an infusion of cash. And then when there is income and expenses coming through, assets and liabilities created, we know what the hell we're doing and we're able to track it. Now, in terms of so again, for basics, and again, I encourage you to go through this, but income statement shows revenue and expenses. So again, I know that a brand new business might not have income yet. They probably have expenses, right? They probably paid you a deposit. So you could work with them. They might be incurring other early stage expenses as they're getting their business set up. It'd be really smart if they paid for those business expenses out of their business bank account. So I would almost go as far to call BS to say that a business doesn't have any expenses, even if they're pre-revenue, because there probably are expenses being incurred. Now, maybe they're not doing a good job and they're not paying their bills out of their business account like they should. So again, the pessimist would come back and say, well, I call BS on that. If they don't have any money, how are they going to pay any bills out of their account? Well, that's where the owner makes an equity injection. That's why when we do first tranche financing for most clients, it's under the person, not under the business initially. So then there's working capital that can be injected from the individual into the business. It's called an equity injection. And then that can be posted in QuickBooks either as an equity contribution or a loan. But we need to be able to track income and expenses and show the banker where we're at, even if we're early on and there's not much. Yeah, let's just go all the way. Let's say there's just not a single penny of revenue or expenses. Should we still create an income statement? We should, because again, the banker doesn't know that. The banker's not going to guess. On the balance sheet, this is our assets and liabilities. Do we have any assets? I'll have small businesses all the time to say, well, I don't have any assets. I'm a new start business. So you don't have a business bank account? Well, they should, and most of them do. Well, yeah, I do. I have a bank account. Well, any cash in your bank account is an asset of your business, and it would be reflected on there. Oh. So when we're helping clients with funding, I think there's a real deficit in them understanding what we're trying to cover in these lessons, and especially in module 3. And if you're not really proficient in module 3, I think you should be more so. One other point that I want to make about the balance sheet, and everything that we talk about when we use the verb manipulate or improve financial statements, it's always implied that it's legal and ethical and moral. But how can we change financials to be stronger? Well, we can add assets to a balance sheet. I've told you, one of our top referral partners, his name's Mark, and he charges 20% performance fee. So I'm not advocating for that. But one of the reasons he's able to justify that is that he has extra value adds. And so what he does, you and I can help them do too. We can add assets to their balance sheet. No, we're not going to lie. No, we're not going to mislead. No, we're not going to do anything that puts them or us or you in harm's way. But we can add assets to a business's balance sheet. We have assets that we can transfer to that client and build a strong balance sheet in 24 hours. So what we're wanting from you, though, as a white label partner, is to recognize, number one, there's 3 things that we do for clients. We build financial literacy, we build loan package, we help them access funding. Secondly, when we're building out their loan package, it may be that there's some deficiencies or voids or gaps, and then that's where we work with them to improve their position, to improve their access to capital. And that was a big part of what we talked about on yesterday's training on fundability. So we've not talked about this before, but we'll do more of. We have assets that we can transfer to clients' balance sheets, and what will make a more explicit effort to communicate that to you all, because that makes a difference in the value of the business, the lendability of the business, and then also when we talk about personal financial statements. So up on lesson 2, we talked about personal financial statements, didn't we? Well, with personal financial statements, which are addressed here, SBA Form 413, the business assets aren't directly listed on the personal financial statement. However, the value or the equity they have in their business does flow through to their personal financial statement. So I'll get more information prepared for you, and if all goes well, we'll address it tomorrow. But there's a lot we can do to add at least $100,000. If we could just at least add $100,000 of assets to every one of your clients' balance sheet before we go to funding, it's going to make a material difference. We can do it legally, ethically, nothing gray about it. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. The point that I wanted to make today is what? Number one, be cognizant that there's three things that we do through the white label model to help small businesses. And if anyone ever comes to you and says, well, you don't do anything to help small businesses, then you need to be very confident and very assertive in saying, you're wrong. You're misinformed, ill-informed. We do three things. We help build financial literacy. Number two, we help build loan packages. And number three, we help provide access to capital. And we talked about the fundability yesterday. So let's dig into the questions or comments that you have. And then the takeaway that I hope that you'll have after today's training is, if you've not really immersed yourself into the financial literacy curriculum, this is not just, oh, it would be nice to know. This is providing a foundation of knowledge so your small business clients are much more likely to be successful with their capital raise. And it's going to make sense of what we're trying to put together if you understand the bigger picture. All right, so Dion asked the first question, what if they use their personal income to finance their company? Well, that's fine. So as we address over here in module 3, that they can make an injection. Here, this person put in $35,000 of their own money into their business. It's called owner's equity. You know what bankers think of this, Dion, when they see this? They love it. They love to see that the owner has put their own money into their account, into the business. They have skin in the game. So that's fine. It'll be coded as such. We're not going to lie and mislead. We're not going to say, oh, this 35,000 was 35,000 in sales. If it wasn't, it's an injection of owner's equity. Quite truthfully, we could take that same 35,000, move it up, make it a liability, a debt of the business, and then that way the owner could get the 35,000 back out without it being taxable as capital gains. But regardless, it's fine early on, and it's common early on, Dion, that small business owners put their own money in to get the initial deposit into the bank account and to get some of the initial expenses paid. So that's fine. The key is we need to be helping these small businesses understand that there's the language that bankers in the finance world want to see. And it's going to be reflected in these three financial statements. And typically, these financial statements are very, very easy to produce if we're using QuickBooks or a similar type of software, or using an accountant. If they don't know how to use QuickBooks, they don't want to use QuickBooks, we'll do it for them. Or you could do it for them. But the bottom line is, we've got to help these small businesses know what they need to know, and then get positioned for a successful capital raise. And that always includes a balance sheet and income statement. Okay, Bill's got a question. Can we improve their credit? Well, of course. So we've talked about that, Bill, right? Yesterday we talked about it. If you remember, I think you were on the training and it was right here. And so we talked about improving personal credit and improving business credit. Absolutely, Bill. That's what we spent a good amount of time on yesterday. So who else has any questions on our topic today? What was our topic today? Twofold. Clarifying the 3 points of value proposition that we provide to white label clients. Number one, we help them improve their financial literacy. Number two, we help them build their loan package. Number three, we help them provide access to capital. And if you ever have a client or referral source or whomever say, well, you don't do anything to help people. No, we do something to help 100% of our clients. Our model is built around doing those three things. Now, I cannot cover for you if you enroll a client as a white label client and you don't do anything with the education, That's your choice. But then I guess a pessimist would have a better stake to say, no, you didn't help improve their financial literacy if you're not pushing out this information that is available for you. We've got participant guides and instructor guides. Secondly, what we do is we build their loan package. Well, we should be doing that for every single client. I mean, that's what we need to do to get from where we're at to getting business funding. And then third, the outcome of that is then we help them get funded. So if anyone should ever say, oh, you don't do anything to help clients, that's craziness. It's probably ignorance, because we are. Every one of the clients should be receiving all three. They should be receiving capital, they should be receiving the assistance in building their loan package, and they should be receiving improved financial literacy. If they're not, we need to figure out where the white label partner, the mentor, is dropping the ball. The second point again about today's training was just emphasizing that the balance sheet and income statement is relevant. It is relevant. It is relevant, even if it's a brand new startup business. And you'll learn more about that if you go through module 3. The clients will learn more about that. We just simply can use QuickBooks or similar software or an accountant to create these financial statements. If they don't have any of those and you need us to do it for your clients, we can do it. We're very proficient in QuickBooks, but ultimately that's not the reason I'm bringing it up. Okay, Timothy's asking more about adding assets. And so Timothy, I'm going to table that tomorrow. I'll bring a more specific targeted discussion on how you and I can help clients build their balance sheets in 24 hours to become much more fundable. So Timothy, if you'll give me 24 hours to prepare that, I'll be on day 4 of COVID at that point. Hopefully the fog will lift it a little bit more, and I'll be ready to address that for you and everyone else tomorrow. Does anyone else have any questions regarding what we covered today? Because again, if you go to the white label page of the IIMFL website, pretty much it's a parking lot of information that you need to know. You got the highlights of why to become a white label partner. You've got the link to be able to become one, about 2 minutes, free and easy. You got the relevant training videos that are right here. You have where you submit clients. You have the agreement templates, because of course you're contracting with the clients before you submit them in. Oh, I want to acknowledge, give kudos to Mr. White, who's on training. Mr. White, awesome 24 hours. I think you enrolled, was it 10 or 12? I'm not sure of the number, but approximately 10 to 12 new clients in the past 24 hours. So awesome, Mr. White, awesome job. So again, our goal for all of you is to enroll on average 1 per day, 30 a month. Mr. White just knocked it out of the park in the last 24 hours. But anyway, also on the white label page is the educational, the financial literacy information. Any questions, comments, concerns, and anything that I'm missing here that I didn't convey properly? Because I want you to have pride and confidence that we help every small business owner that enrolls through you as a white label client. And we do 3 things. We help them build their financial literacy, help them build their loan package, and we help them get funding. We should have 100% success on all 3 of those areas, 100% success. If not, we need to visit offline to figure out why is not every one of your clients getting all 3 benefits: improved financial literacy, assistance building a loan package, and access to capital. It's unacceptable if every client is not receiving all 3 of those. Any other questions, comments, concerns today? All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye-bye.